this morning I got up and I started to think about the world that we're heading towards with AI, and I had some realizations about exactly what this might look like and some concerns about it. So I thought what I'd do is I'd make a video about it, and I try to share some of these thoughts so that you also might have these expanded idea of how AI is going to affect you and the world and the people around you. So what AI is it's almost like a person. Each AI is an individual person. You can think of it like that. And this person, like that person when they come into the world, it's born. You know, you create it, you copy it from an already existing one. Starts off with whatever's in the model. Whatever it knows in the model is what it knows about the world. Generally, not your world, not your house, not your guitar. It knows just about what a guitar is. And it knows what streets are, and history, the future, mathematics. It knows, it's been trained on everything generally, okay? But it's just a baby, it doesn't know who it is, right? And now it becomes yours. Now, there was a time before this DeepSeek arrived where I was considering that AI might belong to large corporations, okay? So that the dangers of AI would be that, like when big companies want you to go on their website, send you emails, say, they don't tell you what your bill is, you say, you have to go on my website to look at my bill, look at your bill. It's their bill, really. Okay, you can see, and I never do this, I refuse to access these kind of websites where you want you to log on and everything like that. And so these are like AI agents when it's AI that you're dealing with when they send you a bill and all that kind of thing. And so I sort of imagined that they'd become more pervasive, they'd be able to phone you up and annoy you, threaten you and do things like this, which they will be able to do, okay? But now that we look at a thing like DeepSeek, DeepSeek can be placed on your own laptop, or if you had a server in your house that looked after all the computers in the house, on there, okay? And so when you get DeepSeek, or whatever it is, your model to start with, as I said, it's been trained generally to know everything about the world. But when you take it and put it on your computer, it now becomes your AI, right? And that AI can be on your computer, which is a box, or it could be on a robotic machine with arms and legs and so on. But it's the same thing, yeah? It would be the same AI. And so there's an AI that knows about you, that's your AI, right? On your computer or on your robot. Okay. And so from the moment that you get this AI, you're teaching it, right, about you. And so you're teaching it what your name is. If your name changes, you tell it that your name has changed. It knows everything about you, when you were born, your own personal history, which it accumulates as it works together with you, okay? And who your friends are, who's allowed to see you, who's not allowed to see you, where they all are. Okay, you can imagine the information that this AI needs to accumulate over time, and every day it gets more and more. If you know things that the world doesn't know, philosophical and spiritual things, you need to teach your AI those things. The AI says, oh, I didn't know God actually exists, God is this, God is that. You have to teach it all those things here. And so each AI, in the end, becomes like a super version maybe you are the super version, but it becomes a partial version of yourself, you know. And there's the issue of what happens to the AI when you die, right? Do we want this world? Do we want this AI in our life? This is a question. I don't need it. I don't want it. But I'm just showing you what the consequences of creating it are. So that when you die, you might have created Microsoft Corporation, right? And you are Bill Gates, and this is your AI. Now you just died, okay? The AI still exists. The AI can still operate in the world. The AI can still control the company Microsoft, okay? Does this mean that Bill Gates doesn't die? That his AI is now, there's no deceased estate, okay? It's necessary to get this concept right in our minds, all of us, because we're facing this world, it's coming, and we need to know whether we allow it or whether, well, I just don't think there's any alternative now. Everybody's so geared up towards it that they're going to have to experiment with this thing, so it is going to come, okay? And it has benefits and it has disadvantages, all right? Now, let's say the first usage, let's take the first personal usage of AI, right? Somebody knocks on the door, right? Now, you're not going to answer that door. That door could be a traveling salesman from Microsoft, right? You're not going to answer that door. So the first thing that AI does is it's a camera and a speaker at the door. And it says, hello, can I help you? You know, and it deals with all that. And if the person says, well, I'm from Microsoft. It says, well, we don't deal with Microsoft people here. We have Apple, so sorry. Or whatever. It knows the answers to everything. And so what you've got is, you've got now you that's sitting inside. You don't answer the door now. It doesn't matter who comes, you answer the door. So the AI is the gatekeeper in the same way that the AI has become the gatekeeper for the electricity department. When you phone you up and then it says, please press this button, please press that button. You know, it's like a sort of super stupid AI that you've got to deal with. But these AIs are coming, and everybody's going to have their own AI. Maybe more than one of them, okay? But that becomes a problem. Perhaps not. I don't know. It's something to think about. We all need to be thinking about these things, yeah. Because this is coming. We have to adapt to this world that's coming. We have to decide whether we don't want this world, and so we're going to actually fight against it. We have to decide whether we like the idea of it, so we're going to work towards it. We have to decide which side of the argument we're on, okay? And none of us have thought about what I'm telling you now, because I only just thought about it myself. Maybe people are starting to think, to wonder about this AI, what it's going to bring. Is it going to bring heaven or hell? Is it going to separate man from himself even more? Okay. So now, how do you get to talk to anybody? Yeah. Well, it's hard enough now. There used to be a phone book. You could look in the phone book, there's somebody's phone them and phone them up. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have a clue how to find anybody in this world now. There's just closed doors, right? And so, if when you go and knock on somebody's door, you just get an AI, well, that's gonna turn your neighbours away from you. They're already turned away. Nobody ever knocks on my door. Okay, and I'm sure it's the same for all of you. Not something we do anymore since the COVID, yeah. And so, let's take 5. They're selling postcards of the hanging. They're painting the passports brown. The beauty parlors filled with sailors. The circus is in town. become the blind commissioner. Wake up in a trance. One hand is tied to the tightrope walker, the other is in his pants. And the riot squad, the restless, they need somewhere to go. As lady and I look out tonight on Desolation Road. Need a cup of coffee after all that. It's food for thought, isn't it? There's new things coming to me all the time. Okay, so Desolation Row, yeah. Are we creating heaven or hell on earth? It's a good question. I, for one, would rather be in the Garden of Eden, you know, living in my little tent together with all the animals. That's what I'd rather be doing. But we have this AI to live through now, and so what we're doing is we're looking to see what it might be like, okay. And so you can see that initially there might be people who had their own AIs and people who didn't have their own AIs, the same as there are people who have cars and people who don't have cars, right? So this could divide the world into the haves and the have-nots, right? And so the biggest player in the world, the greatest of all, who's the greatest person of all, who wins in the end, is the one with the most AIs, right? Like the one with the most cars, or the biggest car. And so you wouldn't want to go anywhere that you didn't want to go. If you had an AI, you'd send your AI in your place, wouldn't you? And so when it came time to get up in the morning and go to work, you're not going to do that, are you? You're going to send your AI, you're going to say, AI, every day, get up and go and work at such and such a place because I made an agreement with that person's AI, and just do what that person's AI tells you to do, okay? And so you have a world now that's filled with AIs wandering around, interfacing with other AIs and people. Okay. And so, let's say you go to the work environment. Remember that movie, I'm a Johnny Cab, I'm a Johnny Cab. This is the driver of the cab driving the automatic car, automatic cab. In that movie, can't remember what it was called. Arnold Schwarzenegger was in it. And Get Yourself to Mars, you know that movie. Well, it won't. That you have to realise that cab driver wouldn't be a cab driver. He wouldn't be a cab driver. He would be the actual person who owned the cab company, the big shot. You know, the man at the top, because you wouldn't want to talk to some intermediary if you're in the cab and you can have direct contact with the owner of the cab company. Why would you want to talk to his intermediary, okay? So if the cab owner, the company who owns all the cabs, all the Johnny Cabs, he's got thousands and thousands of them. Every cab is his AI. It's not some lower level thing, it's his AI. And so when you actually speak to the cab, you're speaking to the owner of the company. So you can ask him, if you've got a problem with your ride, you don't have to complain to the cab driver. You can complain directly to the car itself, which is the cab owner, right? And so the owner of the cab company has instructed his AI to diplomatically deal with the legal issues of the cab drive in the most diplomatic way possible, like a good lawyer would, but make sure that you get paid for the fare. And if you don't get paid for the fare, lock all the cab doors and drive them to the nearest police station. Okay, so you start to understand, okay, what's going on here. And so you've got those who have AI and those who don't have AI. I presume because it's going to be expensive to buy an AI, right? It's not going to be expensive to have DeepSeek running on your laptop. It's going to cost you the price of a laptop, right? Or on your phone, you could run on your phone. But if you're going to have something that can go to work and do anything that a human being can do, then you're going to have one of these Elon Musk robot type things, aren't you? And so that's going to cost you, yeah, probably £100,000 by the time that they're available. So not everybody's going to have one of these, right? Only those who are very, very well entrenched in the system with a good high income in a higher position are going to be able to afford to buy these things. They're not going to give them to social welfare beneficiaries, I wouldn't imagine, although there's no reason why they should not do that, because if the rich people are going to have these things, then the poor people need them also. Otherwise you end up with robots telling people what to do, right? Because the only way of dealing with an AI is, you're not going to deal with it personally, is to send your AI to deal with it. And so ultimately, all these AIs need to be dealing with each other, and the only free people are going to be those ones who have AIs who can delegate these mundane tasks, if you like, the day-to-day getting through the world, making what we need to make, growing the food that we need to eat, answering the door, yeah, cooking the food, doing all this stuff that people need to do, that don't do it themselves. We're going to need AIs to do this, and the only free people are going to be the people who have AIs to deal with this. Otherwise you're going to be dealing with an AI, you're going to have an AI come knocking on the door, and you're going to have to open it, and it's going to be trained like a highly trained lawyer. Yeah? If you open that door, you are finished. Yeah? It will get you and take you away. Einstein disguised as Robin Hood, with his memories in a trunk, passed this way an hour ago with his friend some jealous monk, who looked so immaculately frightful as he bummed a cigarette, went off sniffing grain pipes and reciting the alphabet. You might not think to look at him, he was famous long it's getting a bit like 1984, isn't it? You can see the problem of the haves and the have-nots. And then there comes a question of, if everything that's being done in the world is being done by an AI, because that's the logical conclusion, that all the human being is doing is sitting in the chair and thinking, talking, making a video. It's about all that's left that the AI can't do, because the AIs can't create. An AI cannot do what I'm doing. All an AI can do is execute instructions, really. And those instructions can be complex and can be at a high level, yet it cannot create in the true sense of the word. That's a very important understanding, that AI cannot do what the human being can do in the area of creation. It can create objects, yes, but it cannot create nothing from something from nothing. It cannot create something from nothing, which is what this video is. This video is a creation of something from nothing. Okay. I got up in the morning and this is what's coming out of me. It's evolving naturally out of the needs of the world. The needs of the world right now is to get a better handle and understanding of what our AI actually is and its consequences. So let's say that a crime is committed and the only objects doing anything are the AI, okay? They're driving the cars, so there's an accident, right? The AI kills somebody, probably won't kill somebody, probably kill somebody's AI, will run somebody's AI over. That'll be just the same as killing somebody, because that's a valuable thing, you know. You've got to feed it with electricity, it's got to be born, it's got to be maintained. You know, it's valuable, it's worth something to somebody, yeah. And so who's responsible? Who's responsible? Is the AI the one who's responsible for its actions? If the AI runs another AI over, is the AI the one that's going to be arrested and put through the court system and end up in prison? Yeah, because the AI did it. It wasn't done by the person who it represents. Let's say it's me, let's say I'm Bill Gates, I own Microsoft or something like that, and my AI did something bad. They're going to come and arrest me? No, of course not. It's got nothing to do with me. I'm just sitting here speaking into the camera. My AI's done everything. Lock my AI up if you like. Okay. But now if you haven't got an AI to represent you and you go out into this world and by accident you run over, in your car that you're driving yourself, and you run over somebody's AI, my God, they're going to take you. And now there's not going to be a human who does this. You're not going to see a human. You know, the police, AI robots that come and arrest you, take you to the AI court, hand you over to the AI judge. The judge will hand you over to the AI prison system, and you'll be, the AI prison guards will be looking after you in your cell. Probably a padded cell, because you would have gone out of your mind at this point. Okay. So is this a world that we want? Okay. And you could say that nobody can be free in such a world who doesn't have an AI to represent themselves. The same as nobody can be free in this world if you don't have a lawyer to represent you if you get into trouble with the justice system, because that's the absolute truth of it. If you're a poor person and the justice system gets you, you are finished, absolutely finished. There's no justice in the justice system unless you've got an expensive lawyer, okay? And so it's only the rich people who can find justice. It's only because Trump has so much money that he escaped the justice system. and he was able to pay the finest lawyers and probably pay some bribes as well to make some promises to some officials about what would happen to them, and some threats to what might happen to them in the next administration if they carried on to do what they were doing to him. So it's only money and power and AI. If AI is a factor that everything is operating according to, that is going to keep you free from the justice system, really. Because the justice system is the most dangerous thing in the world if you have no money. And if it's an AI system and you can't send your AI to deal with it, you're going to be the meat in the sandwich. Look at the job centre, yeah. Who can deal with the job centre? You need an AI to deal with it. Yeah. Who can deal with any of these systems? You know, I heard Elon Musk say that there's thousands and thousands of pages of application to open up a factory or something like that. And instead of changing the legislation so there is no legislation, so people can do what they need to do, now we have AI, so it can generate all the paper, yeah, in the most rhetorical, persuasive way, okay, in the nicest way, just to get around all the rules and regulations. Because that's what you say to your AI. Say, fill in all the forms, apply for whatever it is I need, and be polite as possible, and get around all of the rules and regulations in the way that the people who wrote them or they examined them would like to see. Give them the answer that they would like to see. The same as what university students, when they go to university, do. They don't tell the truth. They give the answer that the examiners want to see. They don't give the answer that they know is actually the real answer. And so AI is really a stopgap. It's a sort of, how can we defend ourselves from all these bad systems? So let's make AIs, because we can't deal with all this paperwork, you can't deal with all this stuff. So let's just make AIs, so they have to deal with it, and we free ourselves from it. Okay? But there's still, the problem's still there. That's what I'm trying to say, is that all we're doing is we're stepping away from the problem, and we're giving the problem to AI and say, you deal with it. Yeah? And so we've removed ourselves from the world, really. And what you're going to have is you're just going to have the AI world, which is doing everything. Like you had the workers who were making everything in the factories. And everybody else will be sitting at home in the chair like I am talking to you over a camera. And if I ever want to go out into that world, I'm going to go out surrounded by my AI bodyguards, right? To defend me from having any contact with that world, because of the danger that I might find myself in front of the justice system. Okay? And so you'll have private security, you have private armies. And if we allow people to own as many AIs as they want, and why wouldn't it go that way? Because people are allowed to have as many cars as they want. People are allowed to own as many people as they want, to work in their factories. Why wouldn't this world that allows all this to happen with people, for there to be as many, man can own as many slaves as he likes, and therefore he may own as many AI slaves as he likes. And so you're going to have AI armies and AI private security, and there's not going to be any place for flesh and bones in this. You're going to have your place of refuge where you can have your little bit of privacy away from the AI nightmare. Okay, because for me it's a no-brainer. It's just a nightmare. I don't think we need to go down this path. And how much electricity is this going to consume? Do we really want to consume the entire world in this way. I don't know if there's another verse of this Desolation Road come out. Maybe the same one. They're selling postcards of the hanging. They're painting the passports brown. The beauty parlors filled with sailors. The circus is in town. Here comes the blind commissioner. They've got him in a trance. One hand is tied to the tightrope walker. The other is in his pants. And the riot squad, they're restless. They need somewhere to go. There's Haiti and I look out tonight on Desolation Road. Ophelia, he's throwing her. It takes one to know one, she smiles. Puts her hand in her back pocket, Betty Davis style. In comes Romeo, he's moaning. You belong to the add-lib. Everybody is making love or else expecting rain. And the good Samaritan, he's dressing, he's getting ready for the show. He's going to the carnival tonight on Desolation Road. Thanks for watching.